Hi, my name is Erin Dunn. I am a second semester student at the Arts Leadership and Cultural Management program at Colorado State University, so it's my first year. I live in Fortuna, California, which is on the north coast of California, about 5 hours north of San Francisco in Humboldt County. Yes, that same Humboldt County that you might have heard mentioned on the Netflix special Murder Mountain. It's a town of about 12,000 people, and it relies on timber and fishing and cannabis, of course, here in Fortuna. I grew up on a small town on the Oregon coast, much like Fortuna on Highway 101. I didn't get very far and grew up there in about 5,000 people. I went to school at the University of Oregon in communications. I loved going to school there. The most important thing I did was an internship at a TV station in Portland, Oregon, on a morning show. It was a live hour-long morning show called AM Northwest, and that's where I got the skills to go ahead and have a career. I moved to Washington, D.C. About a year after I graduated. I didn't find the job of my dreams, and it was in the middle of the recession in 1981, 82, and I moved to Washington, D.C. without a job, without really knowing too many people there, but what did I have to lose? So my first job was with the press office of the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, and I just feel so lucky that that's where my job landed me. That's where my first job was. I had a real interest in the arts from the time I was a little kid up until, of course, finding a career in that field. I was in plays, I produced plays, I just loved the art so much, but really didn't think that there would be a chance to have a career in that field. And with the communications piece of learning, I was able to combine the two loves. So be a press agent really for the arts and combine the two. I don't know if you can hear that, but my dogs are snoring. I have two Boston Terriers that live with my partner Ross and I here in Fortuna, and so they're just off to the side there. And helping me with this. So my first job was with the Kennedy Center. I then took a year and did something a little different. I was the assistant national PR director for Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Their headquarters were in Washington, D.C., and it was a year of travel and doing something different and working with national press. And I really am grateful for that year, but found my way back to a union job at Ford's Theater so I could be the public relations person there and get my union card, what they call your union card, out of town. So the union requires you to either be an apprentice as a press agent in New York for 3 years, or you can be frozen at a position at a union house out of town. So that's what I did. So I was able to move to New York City after 9 years of living and working in DC, and was a press agent there. And we are hired by the shows, so we work for press offices, but there's some movement unless it's your own press office. And some of the things that I was able to do, I've worked on Neil Simon plays, I've worked on new plays. My favorites were really the off-Broadway straight plays were my favorite, although I grew to like musicals. I worked for the Roundabout Theater Company as their press agent. They did the 1998 revival of Cabaret with Alan Cumming, directed by Sam Mendes, and of course I'm reliving my glory days there. Worked on the play Wit that won a Pulitzer Prize, and so a tremendous opportunity there. But after 20 years on the East Coast, I was ready to come back and be around family and be on the West Coast. So that's when I came to California. I was recruited to come down and work in what I thought I wanted to work in, which was corporate PR, but soon found that really my next career I wanted to be in community relations. And in a small town, you're able to do that kind of thing, which is what I was really missing in the New York piece. Great opportunities, loved living in New York, but really missed the kind of boots on the ground working in the community. So for 11 years, I was the CEO and of the Fortuna Chamber of Commerce, which allowed me to work with businesses and the community and tourism and all those kinds of things, and was able to start a public art committee and pretty much do any kind of program I could think of. We started Leadership Fortuna based on other leadership programs, State of the City breakfast, those kinds of things. But really loved working with the community, with the chamber, because it left some flexibility to do some other things. So I was a member of a foundation board for our local hospital. I'm a board chair right now for a $50 million foundation, the McLean Foundation, that does a lot of local work. And I'm the chair of the Ferndale Repertory Theater Board. It's the oldest theater company in Humboldt County, located just over the bridge from Fortuna. Probably, it takes about 15 minutes to get there, but I'm mostly excited because we're doing Fun Home next year, and you'll see at the end of this video, my inspirational song is Ring of Keys from Fun Home, because it just speaks to more than what the surface topic is. It just the first time I heard it watching the Tonys, I just went mad for it, and of course had to go see it when it came to San Francisco not that long ago. So one of the things I love to do is volunteer. So when people say, what's your hobby? It's really about volunteering. So I'm a member of Rotary International, local club here. And by being a member of Rotary, and I was the district governor for our area a while back, it gave me an opportunity to see the world in a way that I wouldn't have been able to before. Not just going and laying out at the pool, and which there's nothing wrong with that. I certainly did a lot of that in my 20s and 30s, but as I've aged, I really appreciate traveling with a purpose. So I was able to look at projects in Uganda, Rotary projects that were going on in Uganda, help fit village people in Nicaragua in a small village on the river. I thought it was originally just kids, but it was kids and adults, so people in the village with eyeglasses. Even though I didn't speak a word of Spanish, you're able to communicate a little bit more than that anyway. And went to India with a team of volunteers who a mission with Rotoplast, which is fixing cleft lips and palates. And I was, of course, on the non-medical volunteer team, and that was an incredible opportunity, all brought about by Rotary, and as well as community and local events that I was able to work on as well, and continue to do that. So my career now, I just made a change. I feel like I've had my third career and feel very lucky to have had that opportunity. Another piece of my interests, which are sports, which I love, the arts, which I love, community and volunteering, but also politics, mostly local politics. I lived in DC, where the national politics was our local news. So I at least heard about it, and I worked with everyone on the Hill, although I didn't work on the Hill, but it was definitely a company town. So now I am a field representative for 3 counties up here in Northern California for a California Assembly member. And I feel so fortunate to have that opportunity. And I thought it was interesting because when they read my resume, he's a Democrat, California's a Democrat. I've been a Democrat, and I consider myself a New York Democrat. And the dogs are playing on the side. And they read my resume, and even though I knew the assembly member from the chamber, but his district director said, well, you skew a little conservative, and because of my work at Pacific Lumber Company in the PR department and the chamber, and also Rotary. And I thought, that is just so funny, because I am not conservative. I'm a moderate Democrat, but I've never considered myself a conservative. And I think that kind of fits with some of the things that we'll be looking at as well as I was doing the wheel and what something looks like versus the reality of something. So I'm looking forward to this class because after being here for almost 15 years and really missing that cultural mix that New York City and Washington, D.C. Brought to me, I'm interested in delving into that a little bit more and how that impacts us as cultural leaders and arts management, and how that all is combined and why that's important to combine that. So that's my story. Again, my name is Erin Dunn. I live in Fortuna, California, and I look forward to getting to know all of you through your posts and comments and look forward to the year. Thank you.